Hi there, I'm Joni Ray. For 15 years, I've helped leaders and organizations navigate change and embody their visions every single day. I believe that transformed individuals, teams, and organizations operating at their highest potential is critical to teaching the next generation through example and how to create positive change. And that includes eliminating barriers to women in the workforce and encouraging women's entrepreneurship. According to the United Nations, when women have equal access to economic opportunities, it can lead to gender equality, poverty eradication, and inclusive economic growth. Giving young women access to leadership positions and working with young men to create partnership is critical to advancing opportunities for women. In this lesson, we are going to walk through the specific tips for women in the workforce. Welcome to Advancing the Role of Women in Politics, Peace and Security, and Economic Institutions. This lesson is advancing economic prosperity. In this lesson, we will discuss how communities need to be structured to allow for women to thrive in the workplace and in entrepreneurship. We will discuss specific things women can do to increase their chances of success in business. We will outline ways that men can support women and become allies on their entrepreneurial journeys. Finally, we will review the mindset needed to be successful in business. These lessons are for everyone, women and men, for those just beginning their careers or already further along their employment journeys. My advice is applicable for women who are thinking of becoming entrepreneurs or those who are seasoned business owners. And to the men out there, if you have a mother, sister, or other woman close to you, we are going to talk about specific ways you can support the women in your life and help them thrive. For women to be set up for success, they need to be in an environment that will support and help them excel. They need to be allowed to voice their opinions and not just diminished in words and deeds. Their contributions must be respected. There is no doubt that an unprecedented amount of change has already occurred in the arena of women's rights, but further change is still needed. At work, women must have a seat at the table. Leadership teams, boards, and positions, both junior and senior, need to be fulfilled by women so that other women can look up to them and say to themselves, "She did it, so can I." Having women in leadership roles is a statement from the company. They are saying inclusivity matters, and having women in leadership is an important step to empowering and allowing their success. According to the Center of Creative Leadership, having a higher percentage of women in an organization leads to more job satisfaction, more organization dedication, more meaningful work, and less burnout. Employing more women was also positively related to employee engagement and retention. Women need support at work and home. That means having a community network around them to help with daily work that occurs at home, handling responsibilities as a mother, a wife, and often as a daughter, helping elderly parents. Women need support at home so that they can focus on their attention at the workplace. It's not that women shouldn't be involved at home. They need the right partnerships and structures in place so that they aren't carrying all of the responsibilities all on their own. women also need to be supported on a society level. That includes everything from receiving equal opportunities to receiving loans at banks, to having exposure to advertise their services. When women are allowed to show up, have a say, and receive the support they need, they will rise to the occasion. If you're thinking about being an entrepreneur and don't know where to start, I've been in your shoes. Taking the leap can be scary, and it may not seem to make sense to leave something that is secure and predictable for something else that is uncertain. If this sounds like you, I have 3 specific tips you can apply today. First, understand your motivation, your why. Why do you want to take the leap? What difference do you want to make in the world? If everything went well and according to plan, what is the very best that can happen? For women who haven't taken a huge risk, like going into a business for themselves, the thought of going out on your own may be daunting. In many of our communities, as mothers and nurturers, it may not feel natural and innate to put yourself first. But don't let fear of the unknown overcome you. Sit down and write out your motivation. Visualize it. Get really clear with what it is. Who are you helping? Who is with you? Make sure you can see and feel what you want to create. Second, understand your customer. I especially want to encourage women to connect with other women. Encourage these women, your future customers, through example. Oftentimes, women will take the plunge after they see other women take the lead. Go interview your ideal customer and ask them questions about what keeps them up at night. You want to know what their deepest problems and pain points are so you can be part of the solution. Ask where they spend their free time. Also ask questions about their personal lives. You want to understand and find out anything and everything about your customer. Once you've validated your business offerings with your ideal customer, the next thing to do is brainstorm all the ways you're going to market to them. Building connections can be your superpower. Organic marketing is reaching out and creating trusting relationships with those target customers. Have them get to know you as a person. You can also build your brand and brand story online through social media. Just make sure you're consistent with who you say you are and the content you publish. To summarize, the 3 tips for women thinking about going into entrepreneurship are: know your motivation, know your customer, then choose the right marketing tactics for you. A seasoned business owner. If you're already a seasoned business owner, there are practical tips that you can take on right away. First, go into assessment mode. Go into each part of your business and ask how you can do things differently and more efficiently. For women managing staff, ask how your staff is really doing and feeling. Are you creating a culture that is moving everyone forward? Use that power of connection to relate to your team. Or are you allowing dysfunction to run your company? It can even be helpful to have an outside person come into and evaluate your company and bring a new unbiased perspective to assess your business. Now that you've done the assessment, the next thing to do is prioritize. Again, women tend to take care of others first, or we sometimes want to take care of everything. But there's no way that you can fix everything all at once. What can you do immediately? What can wait 6 months? There's no need to feel stressed and overwhelmed. Just plan it out. Ask someone you trust to hold you accountable, or have a system that will make sure you follow through with your plan. Finally, After you assess and prioritize, the last step is to take action. But don't do it alone. The biggest mistake you can make is to just start taking action all by yourself. As a strong woman, asking for help can be difficult, but it's critical. There are people who can support your growth. Remember, we need to slow down before we can speed up. Take thoughtful steps towards your goals. Don't rush into anything. Take it one day at a time. Working in a company. If you are working for a company, there are 3 things that you can do to make sure you have a seat at the table, while you also take care of your personal well-being. Tip number 1, have something to say and speak up. Large groups of people can be intimidating. But if you're prepared, using your voice with conviction will come more and more naturally. Plan to say at least one thing in every meeting you're in. This will develop your personal brand within the company. You will be able to determine and create what you want to be known for. Let your expertise shine and speak up. Tip number 2, don't be afraid to lead and fail. Being a leader doesn't mean you have to have all the answers. Sometimes you will get things wrong, and that's okay. You don't have to look good in your large company. You can embrace your flaws and show people that you're open and receptive to feedback. Your supervisors and bosses will appreciate your willingness to be a leader, while also knowing when to learn from your mistakes. Tip number 3, find a mentor. Large companies can make you feel lost. Find someone that you trust, who you can go to for advice. Be willing to have a difficult conversation with your mentor about your challenges and areas where you want to improve. Trying to do all these things on your own in the workplace could lead to loneliness and be overwhelming. Go out and make friends, be social, and at the same time, have at least 1 or 2 people to talk through your problems. And to the men out there, first and foremost, listen. Listen to the women in your lives. Whether they are entrepreneurs, want to be entrepreneurs, or are your colleagues at a company, listen to what they want to do. You can support them just by showing them that you are there to listen without trying to fix or change anything. Second, be a champion. Help the women you are working with by including them in conversations, calling on them to give their opinions, asking them to join teams, and promoting them to leadership positions. Include these women as part of the process so that they have a seat at the table and have the opportunity to thrive. Show the men and women you work with that you celebrate these women and want them to succeed. And show other men that you won't tolerate their behavior if they belittle women or demean their contributions. Take some time to be introspective and really ask yourself, do you treat your female colleagues with the same level of respect as your male colleagues? And finally, support the women in your life professionally by supporting them personally as well. Being a friend or partner and helping them when they're facing hardship, including assisting with child or elder care, are things that will help propel them forward in the working world. Supporting women both in life and at work is going to give them the support they need to really excel. Now that we've discussed tips for entrepreneurs, business owners, and how men can support women, we are going to explore the mindset for success by reviewing 5 pitfalls when it comes to being a woman in leadership and ways to mitigate those pitfalls. Comparison. Comparing yourself to others will only take you through a downward spiral. Catch yourself in the moment when you compare. You are meant to shine. The world needs the gifts that only you have. Have an I am statement ready for when you compare yourself to others. I am powerful. I am worth it. Keep repeating those positive affirmations. Bringing up the past. If you are repeating in your head regrets, things that happened, grudges you're holding, if you haven't forgiven people in your life, including yourself, then you are not making room for all the amazing possibilities in your future. Stop talking about the past and step into your greatness as an entrepreneur or professional in the workplace. Being unfocused. Focus on what you want. Write down everything in your head to get it down on paper. Write down and read your goals every day. Say what you're thankful for. Remove distractions from your life and business. All of these practices will help you feel less scattered and more calm. Take a deep breath and let go of that lack of focus. Inconsistency. Being inconsistent is the number one reason for not accomplishing what you want. The definition of success equals the actions you take daily. What is your morning routine? What is your night routine? Be sure to take care of yourself and put in consistent processes daily. Not setting boundaries. Doing things for others all the time will make you feel drained and empty. You need to create time and space for yourself. Whether you make time to pray or meditate, or you just take time to yourself to go on a walk, creating and upholding boundaries is going to help you create a life of focus and success. For women thinking about entrepreneurship, business owners, and women in the professional workplace, believe in yourself. You have what it takes to succeed. Use the practical tips from this training for your work, life, and mindset. For more on this course and to access related resources, visit us on the web